Good morning. It's with some trepidation that I face you this morning because I've spent some time working with Ed Ladenberger, who is our guardian angel on things, trying to straighten out some of the difficulties that we've had with scheduling and so on. I think we have worked out a plan, and I have already posted an announcement explaining what that plan is. I won't go into it now, but I think we are now on track to do the things that we want to do. Today, we begin our discussion of the executive branch of government. My theme, as I keep telling you over and over again, is that things change. We talked about federalism, changed. We talked about the role of Congress and how it has changed. Today, I want to talk about, first, just one thing. Why have we moved from what we call congressional government to presidential government? And I can think quickly of 6 reasons why, not in any particular order of preference. First, it's a question of personalities. People are different, and some people are simply more activist. I think you will agree that President Trump is much more likely to bust into a room and start dealing with things, start talking about things, than President Obama was, who was more thoughtful, I don't mean this as a criticism, than President Bush. Personality matters. And we have had in the past a series of men who have been more aggressive, alpha males, if I may use that term without offending anybody, much more so than has been the case in the past. Secondly, and more important, the issues that we deal with are infinitely more complex than they have ever been before. They are all tied together. Do we get out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is a trade arrangement between the United States and Pacific nations? Well, if we do that, then that affects our military alliance relationships with Japan, with the Republic of Korea, and with Singapore and with the Philippines, if we get out of that. So the complexities are such. And my argument would be that a strong, vigorous president is probably better able to deal with that kind of issue. Third, the issues increasingly deal with our security. We're talking about ISIS. We're talking about 9/11. We're talking about people who have an interest in destroying the American system. And it is an existential threat to us if we allow it to become so. So the issues are much more complex. All of this requires speed. It requires agility. It requires the ability to make a rapid decision rapidly and to implement it rapidly. And this is the 4th reason our Congress is not set up for that. Not because they're a bunch of lazy people, not because they're incompetent, not because they're only concerned with their own careers, but because by design, Congress is supposed to move slowly. It's part of checks and balances, as we've discussed in the past. And it is bound by its rules and procedures. Finally, a final reason for movement towards presidential government deals with the fact that it should be obvious to all of us. The president has a natural constituency. Remember when we talked about constituency in the context of congressmen and senators? States, districts within states. The president has a national constituency. He is elected by the people as a whole through the Electoral College. So for all of these reasons, I would say, can be adduced to explain the shift from congressional government to presidential government.